Welcome to Explore Classroom and good morning. My name is Jennifer Bergen and I am so glad that you are joining us today. Many viewers around the world are celebrating Eid today. We want to wish all of you celebrating a special day of celebration with your loved ones. Eid Mubarak. At National Geographic, we know the power of exploration, wonder, and storytelling can change the world. And this Explorer Classroom YouTube show connects students from all over the world with our National Geographic Explorers for a short lesson and time for your questions. Today, our explorer is Frédérique Fardin. Frédérique is a conservationist who focuses on protecting marine and coastal habitats, like the mangrove forest in her home country of Martinique in the Caribbean. Frédérique partners with others to help teach people about how important mangroves are and why they deserve protection. She also researches how mangroves are adapting to disturbances and climate change, and how these changes impact those that depend on the mangroves. Today, she is going to take us to a mangrove forest and explain why they are so special. But before we get into today's lesson, let's welcome our viewers who have registered in advance and are joining us today from around the globe. Hello to Barker Middle School, Kitson Central, Cynthia Heights Elementary, Mineral Point Elementary, Evergreen Elementary, Burnsville Egan Savage School District 191, Ardenwood Elementary, Pillard Elementary, Lakeside Charter Academy, Hope School, the Farrow Family, Franklin School, Benjamin Franklin Elementary, Big Island Elementary, IBIME Montes Elementary School, Rousseau School, the Elias Family, Odia Core Knowledge Elementary, Isla Haute Rural School, hey pals, Waterloo Elementary, Kate Waller Barrett Elementary School, and of course, all of our homeschools out there. We are thrilled to have you here. And with that, let's get this Explorer Classroom started. It is time to hand it over to Frédérique to share all about mangroves. Take it away, Frédérique.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to share my screen now. All right, let me know if you can see. Okay, great. All right, let me just do this and I can start with you now. So I'm very, very excited to talk to you about mangroves today. And I've heard that you're coming from all around the world and I want to know more about you and where you are from. My name is Frédérique Fardin and I'm a National Geographic Explorer. You can call me Fred. And I'm right now based at Cambridge University, where I'm a PhD student. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite place in the whole world, apart from my house, of course. And this place is called Mangroves. So I'm currently in the UK at the university, but I'm from Martinique and I really, really miss home. So I want to take you there with me to introduce you to the mangroves there. And I wonder if you know where Martinique is. And so I'm going to take you on that journey. Let's go. So where are we going to stop on the globe? It's moving. It's not in Africa. It's not in Asia. It's not in Australia. But we're coming there. And this is the American continent. And we're going to have a deeper look at the Caribbean Sea, the Caribbean islands. And here is Martinique, which is a very small island where we speak French and Creole. And you can actually, if you speak one of these languages, you can ask me your question in those. I will be happy to answer at the end. So now I have a question for you, and I want you to raise your hand if you have ever walked into the forest near your place or when you are on vacation, for example. Have you ever walked in the forest? Please raise your hand. Yeah, I'm seeing some of you guys. Okay, great. But what if the forest was filled full of water, inundated? I guess you would have to take a boat maybe. And so that's me in the mangrove. And I took a kayak because, well, there is a lot of water there. And but that's a forest. And I think it's very incredible, a beautiful place. It's peaceful. And I really, really, really love it. So the mangrove forests are special because they are a forest and because there is water, right? So it makes this environment very special. So now let's have a deeper look. I don't know if you can hear that, the sound of the water. Could you hear that? Yeah? Okay, great. So I was diving there. That was in Puerto Rico, for those who know this island. And you can imagine that these trees, they have to adapt, right, to this water. They have to come and fix themselves in the mud, but they are also at the beginning of the ocean, which means that the ocean is salty. So this water is salty. And that's one of the reasons why I love mangroves, because they adapt to the water, they adapt to the salt, like they are incredible, and they resist to the waves that are coming from the ocean. It makes them very special. So now let's have a deeper look at these roots. As you see, the structure is quite complex and they are coming together to create kind of a fence. And so here we were working in the mangroves. I was there with two of my friends, researchers, and we were working because the water was low. It means that the tide is low. And when you are a researcher, you need to know when the tide is low so that you can go and walk to the mangrove. We call it mangrove yoga because you have to, go and be in some position. It's quite difficult actually, but I love it. And you have to just check the right time. So these roots are called stilt roots because they have this shape of stilts, and they help the mangroves to establish themselves and resist to the waves and be in the mud. And I really like mangrove roots, but there are other types of tree. So this first one is called red mangroves. And this second one that you can see here, it's called apple mangrove. And these roots are different because these roots are coming from the mud and they are going outside. So they are going outside actually to breathe, right? And so they are called breathing roots, or the scientist people say pneumatophore. And one good thing to remember these roots is that, well, this is what I like to do. So for the mangrove who are going, we do like that, like, hey, and to explain the other mangroves who are coming out of the mud, we do like that. So that's a cool thing that scientists do to talk about, oh, have you seen mangrove roots? How are they? And you can say, oh, they are like this or like this. So that's one of the things I like about them too. But you have to remember, when you study mangrove, you need to be very careful because sometimes you can be stuck in the mud and you need to get out of it. So you need to be quick. Just be careful, right? Okay. We talk about forest, we talk about water, and these together combine, it makes a wetlands. And wetlands are areas where water covers the soil, either all the time or some period of the year, right? And I'm not sure in which country you are, in which state you are, but maybe you are next to a mangrove. So if you are, I would be curious to know if you have seen any. And the wetlands are actually home to thousands of species. And I love mangroves because we have species in the water, species in the sky, species in the land. And I'm going to start to show you species in the sky first, animals in the sky, so birds. And here, this was taken in Jamaica. I took this video of egrets, great egrets and great blue heron. I love this. It's just so beautiful. I hope you agree. Another type of animal, terrestrial animal. Terrestrial animal are animals that are on the land. And I'm going to show you one and I'm going to let you think about what animal that can be. So they are walking in the mangrove forest because the water is low, but they can also jump between the trees. Yeah, these are monkeys. or more specifically macaques that I took in Thailand in the mangroves. And so now we're going to move to the marine environments, and we're going to go underwater to see the animal who lives there. So here I just show you some baby fish, because mangroves act as nursery, which means that baby fish grow there when they are small so that they are protected through the roots. And so big animals cannot come and eat them, for example. And so here are fish, but you can also have baby turtles, etc. So why should we protect the mangroves? I already told you what they are, but it's because they are super important. And so mangroves gives human what scientists call ecosystem benefits. It just means that mangroves are helping human and animal to live better, right? And so as we saw, they are home to different animals. And here you can see the bird, you can see the fish, and you also can see the crabs. And I love crabs. So crabs are in mangrove too, in the mud. Mangroves are important for the communities that live there because they are actually fishing those animals and selling them. And I'm sure one of you, or maybe many of you, have eaten seafood in the past, right? So in mangroves, you can fish crabs, oyster, fish, shrimps, etc. Some communities in the world, they depend on the wood of the mangrove, and they make charcoal from the wood of the mangrove for energy, you know, to make food, etc., to burn it. But we need to be careful, of course, of how many trees you remove from the mangrove when you do that. But it's important for the people. And through their roots, and mangroves can actually also filter pollution that's coming from land and from the sea as well. Another thing that is important for about mangroves, and also for me as a Caribbean person, I live in the Caribbean, is that mangrove protects us from hurricanes, typhoons. In Asia, it's super important as well. And they protect the coast from erosion because of the sediments that they trap through their roots. Sediments are these little parts of the mud, right? And so mangroves are important for that. And here I'm showing you where are the mangroves in the world, is these black dots. And in these areas, actually, we have mangroves, and we also have hurricanes. So it's important that mangroves are there to help the environment. And finally, mangroves don't live by themselves. They also live with friends ecosystems like coral reefs with all of the colors, right? And also seagrass beds. Seagrass beds are the grass that you find at the bottom of the sea. And if you want to protect mangroves, you also need to protect the seagrass bed and the coral reefs. So altogether, they are protecting us. But the problem is that mangroves are actually threatened. And that is, even if they are important, they are threatened. Because in some places in the world, they are removed. We say deforest, so we cut the forest. And it can be for agriculture. And here, for example, it was for shrimp culture. So they removed the mangrove, they deforested, and then they did that, they made that pond, right? And then in other places, they build houses or big hotels directly in the mangroves. And finally, there is something that I'm sure you know about plastic pollution. Well, we can also find them in the mangrove, unfortunately. So what we don't want is actually from the mangrove to die. And this is an image of when the mangrove is dying, and that was after a big hurricane in Jamaica. So what can we do? Well, we can learn about mangroves because we want to keep them healthy, right? We can also spread the word about mangroves. So you talk to your friends about mangroves, you talk to your family about mangroves, you talk to your teachers, and then you can support the people that are working to protect the mangroves. Some NGOs, nonprofit organizations, you look for these people and you try to know what they're doing and help them if you can. And finally, if you have the chance and you can go to the field to restore the mangrove, like here, a volunteer from my NGO in Martinique that I co-founded, it's called Roots of the Sea, roots because the roots of the mangrove trees. And she was learning how to restore the mangroves during a workshop. So that is super important as well. And mangroves together, you know, we're going to go and we're going to help the mangroves to regenerate when it's deforested. At the end of the day, all we want is to go home and find a peaceful place that is beautiful, that is not polluted. And this is what the animals that live in the mangrove want as well. They want to go home to their mangrove and they want to be in an environment that is not polluted. So I thank you in advance to join me and to spread the word about mangroves and to spread the love about mangroves. Thank you.
Well, friends, we're about out of time for our show. And I know that many of you are still asking on YouTube, what are ways that we can help protect mangroves? And how can we protect the places near where we live? So, Frédérique, do you mind reminding us of those steps we can take to protect habitats that are in danger?
Yeah, so the first step is to learn about them. And the second step is to spread the word. And then to find any organization that are around you. For example, in Martinique, there is the NGO. It depends, but there are NGOs that are restoring mangroves. And then eventually, maybe if you can restore them. But that is for mangroves, but not only. It's also actually for all type of areas. Just, you know, learn about them and learn about how you can help the people that are protecting them already.
Well, Frédérique, thank you so much for your expertise and your love and care this morning. I know I'm inspired by you, and I bet our viewers are too.
Thank you so much. It was great to have you and to see so many people. And I see you. Oh, thank you. It's great to see people.
I know. And we want to thank all of our students and our teachers and our homeschool families out there. Thank you for joining us today. I bet you want to join more events. So don't worry, we have something coming up again, same day next week, same time. You can register to meet Explorer Maurice Onyango. He's going to tell us all about how using photographs to tell a story can be really powerful. And he's going to do it with photographs about snakes. You can register your family or a student group. Go to natgeoed.org/Explorer Classroom. Have a great day, everyone. Stay curious, keep exploring.